Jenna had always been an avid gardener, so when she found an old cottage with a neglected garden at the edge of town, she couldn't resist. The house was small, charming in its decay, with ivy crawling up the stone walls and roses tangled in the iron gate. The garden, however, was what called to her. The soil was rich, and the air smelled of wildflowers, even though the garden had clearly been untouched for years. One morning, as Jenna was tending to the overgrown flower beds, she noticed something strange. A patch of earth near the center of the garden where nothing would grow. No matter how much she watered, fertilized, or pruned, the soil remained bare. Curious, she dug into the patch, her shovel hitting something hard after only a few inches. It was a small iron box, rusted and covered in vines. She pried it open with trembling hands. Inside was a handful of seeds, black and shriveled. There was also a note written in a hurried, spidery hand. Plant them at midnight and water them with blood. They will grow faster than anything you've ever seen. But beware. When they bloom, they will call for you. Jenna laughed nervously, thinking it was some kind of joke, a bizarre relic from a previous owner. But something about the seeds intrigued her. That night, she waited until the clock struck midnight. With a mixture of disbelief and excitement, she planted the seeds in the center of the garden, just as the note instructed, and dripped a few drops of blood onto the soil from a small cut on her finger. At first, nothing happened, but within minutes, the earth began to tremble. The seeds sprouted, rapidly, unnaturally fast, unfolding into thick, dark vines with sharp, jagged leaves. Jenna stepped back, her heart pounding as the vines twisted and coiled around each other, growing taller by the second. Within minutes, a strange, beautiful flower bloomed from the center. It was unlike any flower she had ever seen, a deep, dark purple with petals that shimmered like the night sky. She reached out to touch it, but just as her fingers brushed the petals, a voice echoed in her mind, soft but urgent. "Now, you belong to us." Suddenly, the vines shot up, wrapping around her arms, pulling her toward the flower. Jenna screamed, but the garden seemed to swallow her voice. The petals of the flower began to close around her, as if the plant itself were alive and hungry. Her last sight before everything went dark was the garden around her, now filled with flowers that hadn't been there hours before. The petals were glistening with dew, as though they were waiting for something or someone to return. And then there was only silence.